Welcome back to Golf Xtra. If you've been a fan of golf in the last 20 years, you've likely heard of Geoff Ogilvy. Ogilvy is best known for his incredible victory at the 2006 U.S. Open, but he was also a top golfer in the world rankings for several years. However, not much has been heard of him in recent years, and these days he's not even playing many events. So, what happened to Geoff Ogilvy, and where is he now? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get right into what really happened to Geoff Ogilvy. To find out what really happened, we first have to go back to the very beginning. Ogilvy grew up in Australia, where he thrived at golf at a young age. He decided to turn professional when he was only 19 years old, and originally started out playing on the European Tour during 1999. He played well enough on the European Tour to make it onto the PGA Tour in 2001, where he was consistently near the top of the leaderboard, but wasn't able to win until 2005, when he took home the victory at the Chrysler Classic of Tucson. He won his second professional tournament a few months later in 2006 at the WGC Xtra Match Play Championship, but it was his next victory that catapulted him into the national golf consciousness. The 2006 U.S. Open at Winged Foot has gone down in history as one of the most dramatic in the recent history of the tournament. Ogilvy started out with a solid first round of 71 to put him in a tie for 7th, and followed it up with a round of 70 to put him in a tie for 3rd place. Suddenly, Ogilvy was in contention for a major for the first time. Considering the attrition that the rest of the field was experiencing on the difficult Winged Foot course, everything was on the table. This was proven to be the case after Ogilvy shot a 2-over par round on Saturday, which still left him in outright second place, setting up an all-time final round. Ogilvy started out strong, gaining 2 strokes back to take the outright lead after 7 holes. However, things fell apart from there, as Ogilvy bogeyed 4 of the next 7 holes to drop far back in the leaderboard. Speaking about the round later, Ogilvy talked about his feelings at the time, saying, "It felt like the tournament was gone. There's a moment in every 72-hole tournament where you realize you're not going to win, and it can come on the first hole on Thursday or the 72nd hole on Sunday. And the later it comes, the harder it is to handle." I was a little dejected. Squirrel, his caddy, was like, "What do you mean? You've had a great U.S. Open. Let's par the last 4 holes and see what happens." Just sounded so sensible. It was a very sensible idea from his caddy, and it led to gutsy play from Ogilvy. He scored pars on the 15th and 16th before chipping in from 30 feet out for par on the 17th. The improbable shot kept him squarely in contention, and as Ogilvy said later, it was lucky that it went in, but it was the type of chip you saw players hole all the time. As soon as it went in, my whole headspace flipped again. I started thinking, wow, that's what happens to people that win these tournaments. Rejuvenated, he recovered out of a bunker on the 18th to get another par, head into the clubhouse where he could only wait. He could never have imagined what happened next, as several world-class players like Phil Mickelson and Colin Montgomery fell apart around him, missing prime opportunities to win. Mickelson's final round in particular is regarded now as one of the biggest missed opportunities in the history of the game. Their failures were Ogilvy's gain, though, as he watched Mickelson miss a shot that would have forced a playoff and gave him his first and only major victory. He acknowledged the circumstances around his win, saying later, "I did everything I could do, but I got incredibly lucky with 4 or 5 truly world-class players on the leaderboard, and it just worked out that I won." As time has gone on, the conversations about it with me have become how I want it. It's changed in other people's minds. As lucky as the win might have been, it raised expectations around Geoff Ogilvy for the rest of his career. At first, he seemed ready to fulfill them, having entered the top 10 of the world golf rankings after his triumph at the U.S. Open. He stayed in the top 10 for more than 120 weeks during his career, getting up to 4th in the world in 2009 after a few more victories and consistent play. However, that's where everything changed for Ogilvy. In only the course of a couple of years, Ogilvy fell from a top-ranked player to one near the bottom of the rankings. After winning the SBS Championship in 2010, he didn't win another tournament for 4 years, and then hasn't won a pro-level tournament since. It was a precipitous fall for a once consistently great player, and it puzzled many fans who had grown accustomed to seeing Ogilvy in contention at big tournaments. Speaking about this period of time later, he explained his struggles in a unique way, saying that he regretted trying too hard to improve instead of just enjoying the process. "I wish I had not tried to get better. I wish I'd let myself get better. I think when you chase golf, you end up chasing your tail. And I think if you just let yourself improve and have a good attitude and play enough golf, you just gradually improve. When we start chasing improvement, we get in our own way a bit. and I definitely did that a few times. Although injury was speculated as a reason for his decline, he denied this, reiterating that it was ultimately too much effort that tripped him up. Nothing really bad happened that messed me up. You start dabbling with the golf swing, I started hitting way more balls and playing less holes. Everyone's built different, but I started chasing golf swing and putting stroke as opposed to just going out and playing for $20 every day. That's what I needed to do. By 2018, Ogilvy was playing poorly enough that he decided to step away from golf, not just due to his play, but due to the needs of his family. I was playing really poorly. I wanted my kids to have the Aussie experience I just genuinely wanted them to have a different experience. Maybe just because I loved growing up there. I thought maybe they'd have a good time. I think they'd have a good time. However, a planned short break turned into a much longer period of time. As Ogilvy explained later, I kind of was planning on having sort of 2019 off and then doing what I'm doing now. And then that didn't work out because there was 2 years. We got locked in Australia and it's like Alcatraz about his break. He's not the only person who got their plans thrown off by the tumultuous pandemic period, but eventually found his way back to professional golf. Ogilvy started playing a select number of PGA tournaments again in 2022 and told reporters that despite his struggles, he ultimately felt like professional golf was the best home for him. Life got really complicated when I went back to Australia. I've been doing lots of good stuff, lots of fun stuff, no shortage of things going on that I just love. It's been great. But at some point, you realize that this is what I do. You know, we all have something that we do. This is what I do. Ogilvy hasn't gotten back in the winner's circle yet, but he plans to continue to play several tournaments a year, depending on what he can get qualified for and what he feels works best for his schedule. As he said, the golf world has changed a lot in the last 2 or 3 years. I don't know what tournaments I'm going to get into. I don't think anybody knows what the fields are going to look like this year, but it's a pretty nice thing to play out here. Other than that, Ogilvy plans to continue to work for a golf architecture firm when he's not playing golf, as well as to spend time with his wife Julie and their 3 children. While he might still get his top-tier golf ability back, for now, all that we can count on is that we'll always have the memories of Ogilvy's best playing days, and that'll still be hanging around. He might still have another major win in him yet. So, what do you think of Geoff Ogilvy? Do you think he'll win any more pro tournaments? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.